next verse is, my body and the life in it are as fleeting as the bubbles in the sea froth of a wave. This is death, okay? Now it's death. Bless me first thus to recall the death that will destroy me soon, and help me find sure knowledge that after I've died, the things I've done, the white or black, and what these deeds will bring to me follow always close behind, as certain as my shadow. So we just entered the steps shared with those of which scope? What they call lesser scope. The first two steps, the guru thing, the teacher thing, and the thing about leisure and fortune are preliminary. They're preliminary. And then they start, and now we start, now the show begins, see? Because they're preliminary because you got your motivation now is set, kind of. It's like, okay, I found a teacher, and I realized that I've got a short window of opportunity here to do something. Now what should I do? And then the teacher will tell you, well, the first thing, in this system, the first thing is to recognize that this window is very, very short. That death is for real. That you're not somehow immune from death. So the steps. So then we enter the steps shared with those of lesser scope, which begins with recognizing impermanence in the form of death. The lesser scope thing means that their motivation is what? You guys recall now. Yeah, fear. Good, healthy fear of what could happen when I die. See, it's not a question of, are you going to die? It's a question of when you're going to die. And then what's going to happen when you're going to die? Well, I don't know. I can't remember ever having died before. Right? I can't remember ever having died before. So, and that's true. I mean, unless you have some kind of ESP or some kind of siddhis, what we call siddhis, powers. Extrasensory perception, some kind of power. You can't really remember having lived before and having died before. But you know for sure you're going to die. And you don't really know what's going to happen afterwards, at all, actually. Not really. You don't know at all what's going to happen. So why not hedge your bets? Why not hedge your bets? I mean, what they say in world religions is that after you die, it could be very, very bad for you. It could be very, very bad. Like worse than living on the streets of Calcutta. Worse than that. And if we had to live on the streets of Calcutta for 5 minutes, we'd go completely crazy. Let alone worse than that. So death means like, okay, death is for real, and I don't know what's going to happen after death. So out of good, healthy fear, I'm going to watch my P's and Q's. No atheists in a foxhole, they say. Right? And we're all in a foxhole. Right? We're just waiting for the grenade to be, tossed in and blow us to smithereens. It's not a question of if. So remember the death meditation thing. You can do this in a 9-part, you can do this in a 12-part way, you can do this in a 9-part way, you can do this in a 3-part way, or you can do this in a 1-part way. Well, we've already done the 12-part way. And we've reviewed the 9-part way a bunch, and we talked about the 3-part way. So let's just do the 1-part way. You're going to die today. Okay? Every day you wake up and say, this is the last day I have to live. And one day, you will be right. And you don't know which day that is. So every day start living like it was your last day. And then how many arguments would you get into during the course of the day? How many hassles, how many people could derail you if this was your last day? You see? You just don't have time for that kind of BS, you see? I'm sorry, I know you're a big pain in my butt and you're trying to be really, really irritating, but I'm dying. I don't have time to argue with you today. You see? It would be a very, very useful way to live. How many sunsets would you miss? You see, how many flowers would you, ignore? You would just take the essence. You would really be squeezing the essence of life if we really were living this way. People who do have the clock, ticking on them, they start to do this actually naturally. They start to appreciate every moment that they have. So that's the death awareness meditation.